Hi, and welcome to Life is Good Today. If you're like me, you're having the opportunity to spend more time with a spouse, or maybe it's your kids or whoever. And I know I've been down here now for a month in Florida, Nancy and I and Doogie hanging out together. And of course, we all know how blissful that can be, that if you spend extra time together, like 24 hours a day, how that can maybe move in some directions that you didn't expect. It's called intimacy. See, in most relationships, there's a lot that's left unsaid. It's there's certain things you go, well, we aren't going to go there. I'm not going to get that one started, and so we avoid certain areas. We're all smart enough to avoid those areas that say, we probably don't want to go there because it's going to end up in an argument. I saw a great meme the other day. The woman said to the husband, "Can you blink a little quieter?" And so that kind of sums it up. And so in any intimate relationship, when you spend a lot of time with somebody, and that could be at work or at home or whatever, eventually somebody's going to get on your nerves because you have a certain way of doing things and you think that they ought to do it your certain way, and vice versa, they think you ought to you know, communicate the way they communicate. And that's all the books they've written about the love languages and all that. So when we spend time together, it's natural that eventually we're probably going to get on each other's nerves, and we're going to get to some dialogue that we typically wouldn't get to. And so that's the challenge in any relationship. How do you take it to a deeper level? And then how do you resolve it? Nancy and I got into it yesterday a little bit. And, at the end of the day, I'm watching Touched by an Angel, and I'm thinking, man, what an ass I am. It's time for me to apologize. And so, it's that learning how to communicate in different ways, and knowing that in any given day you got 8,000 things on your mind, you aren't going to get to some of those things. But when we come into times like this where we have a lot of time together on our hands, we can get over the idea like, oh, is something going wrong in my relationship, or is this, or is it just me? And the truth is no. We're spending more time together, so we're going to drill down, and we're probably going to get to some things that we typically just brush by in the relationship because it really isn't worth the argument, or knowing that it isn't going to get resolved. It's just how we feel. And so that's the challenge of these times, I think, is to stay with that a little bit, and those things that come out, that you didn't articulate all that well, you walk back and say, I'm sorry I said it that way. This is what I'm really feeling. I know a lot of my things I come out as angry, but below it, I'm just afraid. I'm afraid that this is going to happen and that's going to happen, and then I don't express it. And the longer I sit with it, it's always going to end up in some way that comes out inappropriate. And so that's always when I taught the basic seminar. That's what I tell people: when you don't have your voice in the moment, it's always going to move on to some type of resentment or anger, holding a grudge, passive aggressive behavior. That's the beauty of having your voice in the moment. But a lot of times having your voice in the moment isn't appropriate because the other person isn't ready to hear it or willing to hear it. And so then you're really falling on deaf ears. If you've ever raised a teenager, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's that la 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 la. I'm not going to listen to anything you have to say right now because I'm not in the space. So you got to come back at it at a different time. That's why I'm so glad I lived this long, because my kids actually value my opinion now. Imagine that. After all these years, finally I have an opinion that they can value. Not all of it. Still got a little preachy in me, so they can tell me, forget it, Dad, I don't need that. So that's the thought of today, is this is working on communication time, intimacy time. And if you notice that your spouse or your kids are blinking a little too loudly, you may want to go sit in the corner with yourself and get your head straight a little bit, because that's all about you. So anyway, life is good today. Today's the only day I got, so I'm going to make it a great day. I hope you're going to make it great. Sounds like everybody's firing up the leaf blowers down here. Doogie's out patrolling the yard. I've got the dog poop picked up and the leaves out of the pool. So life is good Monday morning in Florida. Hope you're staying safe, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye-bye.